Hey, everybody, before we get into the podcast, I just want to let you know about our sponsors. The first one is a movie called Sir John A. and the Curse of the Antiquenched. It's a fun comedy. You can get it on Vimeo on demand right now for only $2.99. Next up, if you guys want to support the podcast and not have to spend any money doing it, you can go over to our website, raidersofTheLostCommentary.com, and click on the Amazon banner, .ca or .com from wherever you're from, and then it takes you right to Amazon. You don't have to do anything else after that. And then when you purchase something on Amazon, it kicks a little something back to us, helps out the podcast, and we appreciate you doing so. All right, we're back with another 10-minute review, reviewing Bill and Ted Face the Music. Matt's back on the podcast. I'm hitting the 10-minute timer now. Matt, what'd you think of Bill and Ted?
I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, are you a fan of the original Bill and Ted films?
Yeah, I've watched 1 and 2 frequently growing up.
Yeah, I was always a fan of the Bill and Ted movies, and I don't know, being somebody playing music, growing up, it was always like one of those movies that we love to watch. For whatever reason, it's just sort of silly, the first one, and I don't know. I always loved the first one. I always loved George Carlin, so I thought that was.
I will say
great.
The second one is where it gets silly.
It gets definitely very strange in the second one.
Ridiculous. Like the first one, you're like, yeah, it's decent time travel, stoner type film in a way.
Yeah.
The time traveling sort of makes sense, but there's some discrepancies. And then the second one's like, no, now they die, they go to hell, like all this stuff happens. There's robots, there's weird time traveling aspects.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre movie. That movie is bonkers.
Yeah.
But that's kind of why I liked the third one, because it kind of took parts of the first one, parts of the second one. Like, it's not as ridiculous as the second one.
No.
Because of the fact that because like when things happen in the third one now, right? We already have a basis of the ridiculousness from the second one. To me, the only gripe I had with the film was it was a little weird at first to get into the world of these two 50-year-olds talking exactly like they were in high school, per se, right?
Yeah.
Like, that felt off to me at first, and I can't not help, like, Alex Winter's Bill was fine, but I couldn't help but hear just Keanu.
Yeah, like, now we know him as kind of like this badass martial arts guy, you know? And
so
now,
so I don't know if I don't know if it was just because we're so used to like Keanu now, and of course his voice has changed and he's gotten older, that we're just used to the more, or maybe he was just slipping out of Bill or out of Ted a little bit, but
it did feel like
hard.
some scenes were sort of phoned in. There is some bits in this movie. It does feel like, it's like, did you guys practice, or did you just like show up and think it would be fine, you know?
But to me, like, I thought Alex Winter did a great job. Like, I feel like I didn't have any trouble, but I think it also helps because we haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, well,
right? Like,
not like he's been in the director's chair. He's
exactly.
Like a documentarian.
That's what I mean. Like, we haven't seen him act, so that's all I know him from, right? Is Bill.
Yeah.
So to me, it's fine. But like Keanu, and then he looks weird. He looks all puffy, and I feel like he looks worse without a beard. I'm so used to Keanu
the
with
beard
a beard.
really helps
it
him. Yeah.
It does. I will say he looked best when his prison guy came in, like his prison Ted.
Yeah. By the way, that scene was hilarious. They're all roided out in jail. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean the trailer kind of ruins it a little bit.
I didn't see the trailer.
That scene.
I didn't watch the trailer, so it was a complete surprise.
Did? Okay, yeah, that's one of the parts in the trailer.
So the writers, Chris Matheson, Ed Solomon, they
same guys
that wrote the other ones. They're in the films. In the first one, they're the ice cream guys, the Ziggy Piggy guys.
Oh, are they? I know in the second one they're at the seance.
And then in this one they're the two demons in hell that give directions.
Oh,
and they're always like credited as like ugly this or stupid that. They're always credited in that sense.
That's funny.
Few Easter eggs you might catch, but Kristen Schall's character plays Rufus's daughter. They
Yeah,
name
her
her
actual name, eh?
they name her Kelly, and then that's actually
Yeah,
George
just a
Carlin's
nice
actual.
nod.
Yeah, a little nod. There's a few like little Easter egg things, like the phone number 6969 and all that. I did love that the Missy character is now dating or married to the Bill's son. I thought that
Yes.
was really funny, and it was a nice touch. Like, thought that was pretty funny. I don't. For me, I honestly was expecting something a little more. Like, I we talked about this last night a bit, but like whenever I was watching it, I called the ending in the first like 2 minutes. I was like, oh, it's the daughters that are gonna create the
Oh,
song.
as soon as you know they have daughters, well, like as soon as you know they have kids, which you already know if you watch the second one, right? But you're just like, I feel like they're the ones, and it wasn't made clear to me until the part where, and I think it's like 10 minutes in the movie where they go to the future, and the well, Kelly's mom is says like just their last names, and I'm like, yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. Like, there's a reason why they didn't say Bill and Ted, right? Like, and that's literally the reason. Like, it was just made clear
yeah,
right there. But I think to me, it didn't bother me that the movie is like predictable in that way because they all are. Like,
yeah,
obviously, oh, Bill and Ted die. Obviously, they're gonna come back and like save the day. Oh, like they did it. Like, obviously, they're gonna come back and save the day. To me, it felt clear that the daughters are probably going to be the ones because they go on their own adventure to save the band anyways, right? Like it felt like it wasn't that big of a secret.
yeah. I don't,
Like
man.
the only
I
people that didn't know was Bill and Ted until the
Yeah, and that's on brand with their characters. But I don't know. I just felt like they could have done something more with it. And they either could have really leaned into the silly and whatever, or they could have really leaned into something kind of like more serious. Like we come in on Bill and Ted, and they're not even friends anymore. They don't even talk like they do anymore. Like you could have really leaned into the fact that you have like an amazing actor in Keanu, and really leaned into something, or like one of them is still Die Hard, but the other one's like given up on it. Uh,
Yeah, I mean
I
they made a choice. Again, like I said earlier, right? Like I thought it was weird that they're still talking the same and that their daughters are exact replicas of them in high school.
I thought that was a mistake too, because they're I didn't feel like they did a good job of being Bill and Ted impersonators the whole time, and it felt like the one girl playing Ted's daughter, Samara Weaving, felt like she like stopped being it every now and then. Like she would,
Really?
yeah, I don't know. I just like it would just like she stopped being and was
I
something
thought, I
else.
mean, I thought she was doing a good impression, but to me, that I didn't want to see that, right? It's like you got two millennials acting the way that like 80s children do. I don't know, it felt odd to me that they're still using that lingo. Like you're thinking like, are they cool in high school like right now?
Yeah, I
Like,
would have thought it
are
would have
they,
been.
or like is that why they're like friends? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, like after a while, it took me about like 20 minutes to get into like that situation, and once I was there, I got into the mindset of just enjoy it, like just enjoy the ride, and I was enjoying the ride. Um, I will say things got best when we get back to the Reaper, because he's just a joy. Like I
Bill
love,
Sadler.
yeah, I love the Reaper. Like he's the best part of the second one, and then when he comes back here, um, I don't know. William Sadler just he's just so fun to watch. And can we talk about, at least to me, my favorite character in this? And I was not seeing it coming, but Dennis, Dennis Caleb
Yeah, it was
McCoy,
hilarious.
he
Anthony
was
Carrigan. Did you ever watch
fantastic.
the show he's on there? What's it called? With Bill Hader, Barry. Did you ever watch that?
No, I never seen it. I've
He's
seen the
really
guy
funny in that.
before, but like he is so good. Like that I was not expecting that character, because the whole time you're just like, oh, he's just like a joke kind of Terminator, right? He's just a robot, and then like you just see him develop, especially when he kills the dad the first time, and he's like, oh. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just kept getting better and better. And like when you've got a movie where a robot goes to hell, like at a certain point you just gotta switch off your brain and go like it's not that kind of movie.
Yeah,
Like
I liked him a lot too, and I thought he was hilarious, and that he's just always he just wants to be friends with them and all that. But I think it's also Kristen Shaw's character when she's like, "Mother, you named him after my ex-boyfriend." I thought that's one of the only times in this movie that I actually like burst out laughing.
really?
Yeah, and it felt like
I
just like an improv line that she said, you know?
but you're like is that you're saying like that's the only good joke that
I
this movie had
laughed.
to you?
Yeah, I laughed at like all obviously all the Bill and Ted stuff. There was funny bits like them being pretending to be British, but like a genuine like caught off guard. Oh, there's the timer. Caught off guard, like burst out like loud laughing was that line. But
Really? I don't know. Me, Dennis the whole way through.
he definitely
But
had some funny moments. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like for one, the song at the end wasn't the best, and it was kind of like I don't know. I feel like again, it was a mistake to put the song in too. I don't think the daughters should have been like as Bill and Teddy. Like it would have been. I think it would have been just a better contrast if they were just different. You know what I mean? Like if
oh, like I agree with you. Like again, like I said, like Bill and Ted felt too Bill and Ted, right? Like it feels like they didn't grow up, which I guess is the kind of point of the film. But yeah, their daughters, it was a weird direction. But like I said, once I got into that mindset, I was able to just enjoy the movie for what it was. It is definitely not a perfect film. It feels like Endgame light in terms of like the storyline.
it
Like
did
the
feel
time
very
traveling
endgamey.
aspect of it.
Yeah,
Huh?
it did feel like the end game. Like the girls are on a time heist.
Yeah. But I mean, I was fine with that. Like again, the time traveling in this is very complicated. I don't know if it makes sense. Like to me, it doesn't really make sense. Like to a scientific point, maybe there's like some science behind like how the like how the time traveling. Maybe there's an alt universe aspect to it, kind of like Endgame wise. But to me, it doesn't fully make sense. But
It
it
doesn't make
doesn't
sense
have to in a Bill
why
and
people
Ted.
are showing up in different timelines either. Like they're just
Again,
warping.
but that's the thing. It's like it doesn't fully make sense, but I didn't expect it to actually make sense in a Bill and Ted film, anyways. The first film was written by teenagers, so was the second one, and this is like pretty much adults writing like they used to be with teenagers. I don't know. To me, it still fit. It fit the Bill and Ted world because of just how crazy. Like, I feel like obviously if they had made this movie without the second one, it would be even completely like it wouldn't work. But because they had the basis of the second one, which was just like bonkers, like 10 out of 10 crazy, that this movie does not seem to be that insane in terms of like plot wise,
Yeah,
of
no, that's
bringing, you know,
fair.
like I don't know. To me, it worked for what it is. At the end of the day, I enjoyed it. I had a smile on my face. It's not a movie you can take seriously. But if you, to me at least, if you enjoy Bill and Ted or you just like a nice adventure, actually, I feel like you should watch Bill and Ted before watching this movie. Like, it
I
really
will
is
say
a
though,
sequel. Sequel. Like, you can't
steep rent to
just. I
rent
mean,
it though, right?
hmm.
Steep to rent it though, like 19.99 just to rent it, and I don't even get to keep it after. You know?
You got to think of it like in terms of it would cost you that much going to see the movies. Like if you were like
Yeah,
going
I
with like
guess.
a bunch of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with like Mulan, right? Like Mulan's like $35
Right,
just to watch it on Disney Plus. But
right. 35 Canadian because I think it's like 29.99 for like the U.S. But yeah, $35 if you want to watch Mulan, which apparently it's not even that great. So
it is what it is. I think it's worth like at least just supporting the franchise. And I mean, I don't know how well it would have done at the movie theaters if it just come out like this way. I think it actually would have. I think it's actually going to get a better audience this way
no, I agree.
because like
It does
people
feel
like,
more
you
like a
can just.
Netflix movie, but
It does. It does. I to be fair, if it feels it also I'll bring up like it felt cheap in a way But Bill and Ted's have always felt kind of like low budgety. Like, I know it's not an actual low budget film, but what I mean is like the obviously the costumes and stuff always have felt like super silly in terms of like, kind of feels like those low budget sci-fi films. But that's fine. I feel like that was kind of like the feel they were going for anyways. I don't know. To me, I really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it more than the second one. But but a big part of that was Dennis and Death coming back were a lot of fun, like building onto that. Not to say that Bill and Ted, but like I feel like Bill and Ted without those characters, I don't know. You can't go so far with just Bill and Ted, right? Like adding those silly characters really add on to the fun of what Bill and Ted is. I don't want to say it's a perfect sequel, but I enjoyed it.
What if they would have done some like how Marvel does the de-aging, and then we go back and we see like young Bill and Ted de-aged? That would have been a cool moment, I don't know. I think they could have done more with it. There's also like, I don't know about you, but it felt like an abandoned storyline with the wives. Like they're going back in time and then they're showing up randomly and then all's well, but they were going back to stop themselves from marrying them. I don't know. That felt a little strange. That's
again, there was if you think too much about it, like it just falls apart a little bit.
No, I know, but it felt like they were going for the feels, especially with the after credit scene, and it's like it's one or the other for me. Like either we just lean into a ridiculous movie, which the originals were, and I would have been happy with, or we like go the other way and we go for like a nostalgia bomb feels sort of movie, and I would have also been happy about that too.
I don't know. I thought like they toed the line. To me, they did both. It was both ridiculous.
I think it did both, but like half-assed in my mind.
I mean, we both have our opinions on the film. You're, I guess, a little bit more of a diehard on the Bill and Ted. I'm more of like, I watched as a kid. I watched it again recently, and I enjoy it for what it is. I've always enjoyed time travel movies, and this one's no different. I don't know. I thought I enjoyed it. It's something I'd recommend to people if they like Bill and Ted or if they should watch Bill and Ted, because I'm like, it's in a shit year of 2020. I feel like it's a nice feel good movie, and it's a movie that just kind of
it's a little less than shit.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying, right? Like in a shitty year, this makes you kind of just forget about what's happening in the world and just kind of enjoying the world as it should be, Fair, be excellent to each other and party on.
Be excellent 6 feet apart. Yeah, we need that. Be excellent to each other. So yeah, on that note, let us know what you guys thought of Bill and Ted Face the Music. If you saw it, you can do that on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, let us
YouTube.
know if it was most heinous, or sorry,
most
if
bodacious.
It was heinous or non-heinous or non-heinous.
Yeah.
Or most non-heinous.
Most untriumphant. And if you want to support the podcast, you can head over to our website, raidersofthелostcommentary.com, and click on the Amazon banner ad. It'll take you to Amazon, so the next time you're shopping on Amazon, you can do so. And if you purchase something, we get a little kickback. Costs you absolutely nothing. And it helps support the podcast. And also you can check out our other sponsors there. We'll be back sometime soon with another review or commentary or a indie filmmaker chat.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Lost Commentary, on Instagram at Raiders of the Lost Commentary, and like us on Facebook.
I'll be back.